Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
there it
I
is.
think I don't know if it's a record because I don't see the time running,
Well,
but I think it's
my
work.
screen says that I'm being recorded.
Okay, that's good. So we are in company of Dusty. Dusty came last year in Montenegro retreat. It was around 1 year ago, approximately. And the case of Dusty is very interesting because I was also Lyme disease. And Lyme disease, it's complicated. Yeah, this is because we have different things. We have, of course, the Borrelia, but we have also the confection. We have problem on the gut. We have the immunity. There is different things involved. So in this disease, I know because we treat already different people with success with this method. But I was invited 1 year ago in naturopathy school. I talk about how to find solution about Lyme disease, but in 100 people present on this conference, nobody believed me. Nobody checked what I was saying. It was this man, he want to give us a dream or a magic is a magician. He want to talk about magic things or not. So nobody believed me that we can treat really seriously Lyme disease with dry fasting. So the people are laughing about me because they don't think it's possible. And I also inform many association Lyme disease in Switzerland, French, but nobody believed me. I informed we have different case, but that's very good. We have testimony. People they get results. They get better after dry fast. So, Dusty, you can talk about your experience. You went last year in Montenegro. So first, yeah, you can inform the audience what was your problem before, or energy you have, the pain, and how you feel now, because you make 3 sessions in 1 year. That's what we recommend. One session is not sufficient, and the first session is always a test. So we cannot push directly the person to 9 or 10 days on the first dry fast. We need to observe the reaction, or you exit the fast, or you recover after the fast. And all this process is very important to know after to put the second fast and the third fast. But you decide to manage also on your own some things. It's very good. But you went one times with us, and you understood this method, because in the group you can see the different people, or this method work. To be on your own is difficult first time to understand, really, because um, it's always more interesting to start to be on the group. And after, if you feel okay, you can confidence, you can start on your own, and that's what you did. So I'll let you talk now, and about yes, explain about how you feel now, and how you were better, and what exactly was your fast. So I'll let you talk now.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. So I guess I'll walk you through my testimony. I'll try and be short and brief, but I the onset of all the pain for me was actually the fall of 2021, and it was in the form of excruciating nerve pain in my sciatic region, and it came out of nowhere, and obviously, as a tick bite kind of does, didn't know what was causing it. Had been stumbling through a bunch of practitioners and doctors and therapists to find out what it was, but I never got any answers for a few years, and the pain had become so problematic that I would be in wheelchairs and crutches, and my wife would have to drag me on a towel across the floor because I just couldn't walk. And fast forward to not this past summer, but the summer of 24, I started to feel sick, like basic flu symptoms, and thought it was exactly that, the flu, headache, fever, fatigue, but the fever wasn't going away. And I decided to go in and get checked out. And I was in Maine at the time. And they tested me for Lyme and anaplasma and some other stuff in the region. And it all came back negative. But the next day, I saw a red bullseye on my leg. So the doctor said, well, a lot of the tests can be false negatives. It's obviously a bite for Lyme. And then we realized that given all of my symptoms leading up to that point, I probably had Lyme for some time. And what drew us to that conclusion also was they put me on doxycycline right away. It's a very common antibiotic for Lyme, at least here in the States. And my first pill, I went into a pretty serious episode of rigors. My body started to shake and have these convulsions like really violently for almost a half an hour in bed at night. And my wife and I had no idea why. And then the next day, the doc said, well, if you had an episode like that after your first pill and it was that serious, you probably have had Lyme for a while. And then my wife and I started to backtrack the last 3 years when all of this odd pain just kind of showed up out of nowhere. So I've had Lyme for 3 years without knowing it is my best guess. So it's that time, I'm in the advanced stages, so to speak. I've been having trouble with psoriasis, which is can be a common symptom of advanced Lyme, something that my family does not have any of. Anyway, the doxycycline actually made the psoriasis worse because it's a tetracycline, and I'm in the sun because I'm a sailor. So I had been water fasting for years also, trying to mitigate inflammation when I didn't know that this was all Lyme based. And over the years, I was surprised that the water fasts weren't as effective as I thought they would be. And after this episode in Maine, realizing it was Lyme, trying to come to terms with all of these symptoms I've been having because of late stage Lyme, I looked back into fasting because I've always been a very natural, holistic person. And I did not want to be put on antibiotics and doxycycline if I couldn't help it. And I praise the Lord, I came across Michelle Slater's book and testimony about her dry fast in Siberia with Dr. Filanov. And I read the book, listened to her interview, and it was a beacon of hope I have not had up until that point. Again, I've been diagnosed with everything under the sun, ankylosing spondylitis, just a bunch of stuff that didn't make sense. So I got a hold of Filanov. He said he was very busy. He told me about Michel. I got a hold of Michel, and that's how I came across his retreat in Montenegro. And I took the prep for it very seriously because this was the magic bullet. That's something that I've been waiting for, this very encouraging method to cure me. This disease also played a role in the dissolvement of my marriage, and it was really bad a couple of years ago. So I wanted to take it very seriously, did the protocol, read out some meditations, went into the fast, the very positive mindset, and it was really encouraging last fall. It was nice to do with a group of people for your first time because, as you all probably know, dry fasting is a very radical idea. But when you start to understand what is happening in the body, given autophagy and the ketones kicking in and everything, and just the self-eating of all the foreign stuff to then rejuvenate, it's a pretty miraculous thing. And being a man of faith, someone who believes in God, who created our bodies, it's nice to know that he knew what he was doing. And this way of healing is all inside of us. And I'm thankful to be a testament of that. Anyway, when I did the fast last year with Michel, and I think I made it to day 9, and it was awesome. I was surprised how well my body took it. I just experienced some fatigue naturally, a little lightheadedness, and that was it. I didn't I was expecting to go through more episodes of rigors because instead of the antibiotic triggering the reaction, it was the natural version, which is autophagy, but it didn't happen for me. And that's something else about Lyme is what I've in my research. There's a theory that I stand by, I think, is that over time, the spirochetes, the bacteria can create this layer of like a biofilm that just kind of protects them.
Exactly. Mm.
And that's why antibiotics don't really work so well in the late stages, maybe early on in the acute, but for someone like me who's had it for years, the antibiotic didn't work. And I had that episode of rigors. But when the body is purging in this natural way, the cells are heating up from the inside and burning from the inside out. So it's able to attack it that way, which
Exactly.
is beautiful. And it just goes to show because after my first fast, I haven't had any nerve pain since. And that is incredible because that was excruciating. Honestly, I was to the point where I was starting to look into like medical assistance and dying because again, it was 3 years of pain, nobody having any answers, and you can get pretty depressed,
Of course.
But thankfully the fasting helped, and yeah, no nerve pain ever since. But coming out of the fast, because I had Lyme and anaplasma and babesia and rickets and Rocky Mountain and all these things, it was going to require 2, if not 3 fasts to eradicate all of the diseases. So I had been learning a lot about the die-off process ever since the first fast. So there are, more pain, so to speak, and symptoms coming out of a long fast, but you have to frame it as positive, like healing pain now that the body is working through. And I ended up doing a second one in April, 5, 6 months later. I felt confident doing one on my own because Michel equips you really well when you're over there with him, what the red flags are, what to monitor. And I'm aware that everybody brings into these fasts with their own, predispositions and stuff. But thankfully, I'm on the younger side. I've always been pretty healthy. It was just trying to eradicate all these pathogens. So um, I checked my weight every day. I was walking every day and my blood pressure, and you just listen to your body, right? I mean, the body keeps the score. It knows what it needs, doesn't needs. And um, I went 10 days this time in April, and I came out of that second fast feeling pretty good again. Again, the second fast, I I was just so amazed at the energy I had, which I believe are the ketones kicking in just to kind of sustain you. I feel so great during these fasts. I'm making it a lifestyle at this point, but um, my left knee, I actually had 2 bites the summer in Maine when I found all this out, and they were both around my left knee, which naturally I guess would be the weaker area now. And we have lymph nodes in our knees, and the lymphatic system is on overhaul, just flushing out all the die-off, right? When the bacteria is killed from the fast, the body still has to get rid of it. And in my situation, it was more than just a Lyme. As I mentioned, it was 6 or 7 different diseases. So um, the body was reacting in by way of more inflammation, and I had a lot of swelling in my knee, like knee effusions from late stage Lyme arthritis. But in my case, it was just all this bacteria working its way out. And when I realized that everything inside of us requires water at some point, especially all the pathogens too. That's why originally all my water fasts weren't working as well as dry fast, right? Because they say 1 day of dry is like the equivalent of 3 or 4, maybe even 5 wet. So it takes a lot longer to do on a wet fast. But I had all this fluid in my knee, and it was causing quite a bit of pain, debilitating. I wasn't able to sail as much this summer. I was kind of on and off crutches, and I just realized that my body was, again, flushing out all of these diseases that I've been working on eradicating through the fasting. So I realized that I should just plan for a third fast, and I went into my protocol that I have from Michel and prepped the body for another one. And I drove out to Nova Scotia, um, beautiful stretch of shoreline. There's nobody there. You get the minerality from the water, just like in Montenegro. I try to keep all the things very similar because that's what I've had success with.
Exactly. Yeah. To keep the same. Yep.
Yeah, and it's just a gorgeous place, that therapeutic setting. I love the ocean, but yeah, I did it out of my Jeep, and the third fasting is a muscle, and I felt even more incredible. I made it into a road trip. I felt great to drive. I was hiking. I was even, um, for better or for worse, but I was climbing. I was rock climbing on day 9.
Mm.
I felt I was in awe of how well my body was just taking care of me. Again, it must be those ketones giving you the energy, but
Of
obviously
course.
I wasn't, running a 4 minute mile or anything, but getting my walks in, kind of scrambling around the rocks, and I just felt so good. And I pushed for another couple of days and hit 12 days, and I broke, and I did the same exit plan, and I have had no symptoms at all ever since. Now that all the die off has been expelled, my knee went from the size of a grapefruit down to normal size. You're still urinating every day. You're getting rid of all that swampy, dead, you know, um, water, and then your cells are going through that metabolic water making process, and they're just replacing it all with good, clean, endogenous water, and it's just really a miracle at work. And I am, ever since the fast in Montenegro, and then these two ever since, I love to champion this way of healing and to be an advocate for it. It's a blessing, and I hope people listening can take what they can from this, but especially for Lyme, because of that damn biofilm, it's just so hard to penetrate, especially with antibiotics. It's just not good for the gut. It kills the good and the bad. But yeah, I'll just wrap up by saying I'm really thankful for stumbling across the retreat in Montenegro. Michel has been
Mm.
great, and I'm just really thankful I have my life back, because for a little while there, I was about ready to throw in the towel.
Yes, you were in difficulty when I met you, and I say, oh, it's too young to live all your life. This kind of problem is not possible. You have to do your work. You have to. I think you work on the ocean. You are a sailor, so you need to be in good condition to do your job. So you cannot stay like dead people. So I'm very happy that you get a result and you feel better. Do you feel now completely healed about your Lyme disease or?
Yeah, I've taken some more tests just to be sure, and everything has been negative. Old antibodies. I am 100% confident based on how I feel and the tests I've gotten back, multiple
Yeah.
tests. Everything has been eradicated.
Yeah. The key points on dry fasting is the acidosis crisis, because your body is in acidosis for long time. You don't have this so much effect in water fasting, and you talk about the you talk about the uh, the name you say about name. I can remember this word you use on the cells, the protection of the bacteria. You talk about
Biofilm?
the biofilm. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
The biofilm is completely destroyed in dry fasting, because it's a unique method, dry fasting, because the biofilm cannot is completely attacked by the acidosis of the blood, and it cannot replicate. And of course, all the bacteria, you have a double process. You have a lot of detoxification, and in the same time you dry your bacteria quite easily. And if you have virus and parasite, they will be killed very 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 yes very quickly, I mean. And the success is this biofilm that we have in Lyme. The um, the dry fasting is unique because it can attack this biofilm directly, and the Lyme specialists, they try to find food supplement herbs to destroy this biofilm, but they cannot really. The most strong method is a dry fast. So I knew already all this information because we have it's not, you are not the first case, but the problem is that we have to spread this information to inform people that we can save a lot of people, but nobody get this information. We don't know how to inform, and if you inform, they don't believe you. So what to do?
I know
I always say, don't believe me if I say something. Always go to try. It's like I discovered dry fasting. I say I heard about this and say, oh, I have to test, and I will see after. But nobody want to test. They don't believe directly. So you have to be open-minded, and yeah, that's why testimony like you is very important to that the people can get this information. This is because you are not the first testimony I have. So more we have testimony, more the people can believe that it's true, it's possible, you can find solution. So how was the atmosphere group in Montenegro? Or you appreciate this group to do on the, because you have to you make on your own, and you were also on the group. But I want to tell people that you are in good condition. You don't have pills before this dry fast. You were quite good condition. If you have to take medication, if you have complete disease, if you're old people, if you are not secure, to be alone, to do the fast alone is difficult. But on you, you were quite confident about this method. So I think you manage on your own. It was very good. But you have the first guide. You went one time with us to understand the method, because a lot of people, they try on their own directly, but they don't understand the method directly, and they make mistake. And I think that's problem arrive because they push too much time, too long. They don't know how to exceed. You get already all information. You were quite confident because you knew how to process.
Yeah. I think one of the most important pieces of all this, as you know, obviously, is the refeed, and that's what I was most important or most excited to learn about.
Yeah, exactly. The refeed and to be confident, because if you are stressed on the method, if you don't trust, you become nervous. You will stop after 2-3 days because you don't really understand. So if you already saw 20 person make this dry fast, you're quite relaxed. So that's why. Okay, Dusty. So thank you for all. I think we have to make a conclusion. So I let you the first two, 3 words to say to people. Could you recommend for Lyme disease people, they have this or any disease? Because what you can say, I let you finish this talk.
Yeah, I absolutely recommend these retreats with Michel. Like I said, the book I came across that led me to somebody that he's worked with, and then himself, is Michelle Slater's book, Starving to Heal in Siberia. It's a great testimony. She's had a lot of success with this also, and has been championing this way of healing. There's a great quote I'll leave you all with by Hippocrates. It's, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. To eat when you are sick is to only feed your illness." And he's right. So praise
Yeah.
the Lord. But God bless you all. I hope you find some solace in this way of fasting. Again, it's not just for the physical body, but it's done wonders for me emotionally and mentally. I'm able to just draw nearer to the good Lord, and I love every aspect that you can get out of it. But yeah, make the most of it.
Okay, perfect. We close for today, and thank you very much for your testimony. Thank you, Dustin.
Thanks, Michelle. Take care.